Good morning and welcome to this week's episode of the Last Night's Game podcast. I'm your host, Amy Butchon Siegfried, and joining me today to talk about the world of golf and the Masters, which is everyone's favorite golf tournament, and we're going to find out why, is my co-host, my co-founder, Scott. Scott, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me on. We're here to talk about a tradition unlike any other, the Masters at Augusta. It's just as famous for the golf as it is in the mystery of becoming a member, the things that go on there that no one talks about, no cell phones. There's just so much tradition and weird quirks with the tournament. Even if you don't like golf, there's so much to talk about.
Well, that's what I love about the Masters is I'll be honest, I am not a big I'm going to sit and watch golf on a weekend kind of person. And there's so much folklore and there's so much pomp and circumstance around it that it's so cool just to be a part of it. It's a great way to take a nap as well,
Yeah, dad naps.
as you would,
Yeah.
so as he should. So talk to me about what is it about the Masters that is like an Augusta National, the golf course where it happens, also part of that allure. But what is it about that makes everyone go, I have to watch this? Like, I'm going to stay home from work on Fridays and watch this.
Well, it's the first major golf tournament of the year. There is 4 majors throughout the year, so this kicks off the major season. So it's always the excitement's ramping up. You're coming off March Madness, obviously, and this is it fills that void the next weekend. Augusta's the only course that does not rotate with the majors. US Open, the Open, and the PGA Championship, they all rotate courses. And the Masters is always at Augusta, always April, other than COVID, of course, but it's always in the same place. And it's a mysterious gathering of human beings, right? Like all the members it's a secret list. Rarely no one can really play there unless you know a member or are a member, and that's nearly impossible. The no cell phone rule. So there's no cell phones allowed on the course during the tournament. So there's no random selfies of the course. They control how they want it portrayed on TV and the internet. So there's just so many weird things going on there that make it fun to watch.
So it's a bit strange in the sense that it's very controlled, a bit like Truman Show, if you will.
Yes.
But the no cell phone rule. I mean, that a lot of golf tournaments have a no cell phone rule, but they're not real strict on it. Now, the Masters, Augusta National, if you get caught with a cell phone, you can be banned for life.
Yeah, they take it very seriously. They're not just going to do like Rory did a couple tournaments ago and steal your phone and give it to security if you take a picture of him.
Right.
They're going to kick you out for life. So
yeah,
they don't mess around.
It's kind of like what's happening behind the scenes.
Yes, absolutely. And that's how they keep it mysterious, right? They don't allow outsiders to post anything. They control everything.
Well, it's interesting. Okay, so let's start with members. So the list of members is not public. So if you want to play there, you can't figure out who you know that is a member unless they tell you, which I'm sure they probably will. It's like being vegan and doing CrossFit workouts. But they just recently, and I say recently, it's 2012, so it wasn't that recent, but comparative to how long this has been around, they've just added women to this list. And as far as we know, there are still only 7-ish women who are members, one of those being former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. And you really only know who's a member because they wear the green jackets that the Masters is famous for giving away. They wear that green jacket during the tournament so that people can find them and ask questions.
Yeah, and that's the only way we really know how. And they're only allowed to wear it on the grounds of Augusta during the tournament. So other than that, we know Condoleezza, she was the first female, if I'm not mistaken, I think.
It was her and a lady named Darla Moore were the first 2 that got in.
So it's an extremely prestigious, mysterious membership. You can't just go book a tee time and play there. So you have to know someone. And obviously the green jacket is a big deal. So when you see it on TV, when you see people walking around in green jackets, those are the members. And they'll gladly tell you that.
I'm assuming so as well. So rumor has it, though, we've picked up a couple of famous members maybe this year, possibly if we see them win green jackets on the course.
There's a good chance that you possibly will see former Giants quarterback Eli Manning, not only on every commercial in the history of the world, but he allegedly rumored to be a new member of Augusta in a green jacket.
I wonder, I haven't seen it. They don't disclose what membership fees are, do they? I mean, obviously not.
No, there's little information about nothing on there. Other than that, it's a bunch of CEOs. Somehow the CBS sports chairman, Sean McManus, got in.
Shockingly,
It's weird that they carry the tournament and the former CBS Sports chairman got in. So
just got in. So
yeah,
strange how that happens.
but that
Well, it's really cool. So
yeah.
they obviously like I'm going to go this route just a little bit to lead us into the next thing, but
Okay.
we've had these a very limited number of female members, but they do host ahead of the Masters. They host a women's amateur golf tournament, which I think is really cool and speaks to the fact that they're maybe not doing the best job on the DEI
The,
type stuff, but they're bringing in amateur women to golf ahead of the Masters, which I imagine the greens are probably off limits, very much ahead of the Masters, so that they're in perfect shape when the golfers come through.
yes. So this is a form of being progressive, allowing a female member in 2012, whatever you said it was, and now they allow the top female amateurs in golf to come play the weekend before the Masters to let them play the course because there's never been an actual like professional female tournament there. Only the amateurs get to play there, so they play there the weekend before to kind of kick things off as like a celebratory show, I guess, if you
I
will.
guess so.
Yeah.
Well, and it's cool. I just think it's neat that they've added that in, and I
Hmm.
believe they play the championship at Augusta National. They play the majority of the tournament nearby. The championship
Yes.
itself is at Augusta National. Now, the thing about the Masters, right? It's very prestigious. It's
Hmm.
very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Pomp and there's a lot of pomp and circumstance.
Yes, that's a good one. Yes.
But their concessions are not expensive. They're known for their pimento cheese sandwich, very southern, fits
Hmm.
in very much with what their vibe down there in Georgia. But yeah, we're not talking expensive food and drinks.
We are not. In Las Vegas, going to pro sports events, you're paying $25 a drink, or $50 for a double, something crazy. So you'd expect that Augusta, with all these very wealthy people that are members, would have crazy concession prices, but they have not changed their prices in almost like I think 23 years, give or take. You're gonna have a $1.50 pimento cheese sandwich. Everything's cheap. Beer's only a few dollars. It's gonna cost you a lot to get into the tournament, but once you get in, the concessions are cheap and efficient. Everyone talks like goes the efficiency in which they do their concessions is top notch. There's no lines. You walk up, get it, and go.
Well, it was interesting that the they haven't changed the like you said the pricing in like
Uh-huh.
23 years. The last price changing they had on the pimento cheese sandwich, it went from $1.25 to $1.50 in 2002.
Inflation.
1997 it was a dollar. And so it's pretty incredible. They have also added in a tomato pie this year. We're getting wild down in Georgia,
It's a
and
big
adding in
deal.
the tomato pie, which is a big deal. It's some empanada looking situation that we'll have to wait to get reviews from people who don't have their cell phones there. So we won't get
Yes.
any influencer posts on it, but we'll find out eventually.
Maybe they can put one in their pocket and smuggle it out.
So they do something really cool ahead of the Masters as well. It's called the Champions Dinner, and it's basically last year's champion picks the dinner menu, and all previous champions are invited to attend. I am not assuming they foot the bill, but maybe they do. I don't know. That's probably a secret too. But
Hmm.
this year we have Scottie Scheffler, who killed it last year, absolutely just killed it.
Hmm.
And he is hosting this year's dinner. And he's got like a unique menu, which I love.
He doesn't. For those who don't know, Scottie Scheffler is a very simple man. He, for a very long time, he drove the same Suburban that he was driving in like college with like 200,000 miles on it. I think he's upgraded because last year he shattered the record for earnings in a year. So he's really splurging now. I know he said he wanted to do the exact same menu from when he won in 2022, but I think they made him change it up a bit. So he gets to pick the menu, whatever he wants. Tuesday night before the Masters, all the former champions that are able to show up, and it's just telling stories and wearing green jackets and just telling people how good they are at golf. I assume
I would assume
something
lots of
something we
golf
will
chat.
never know about.
No,
And
not known for my golf chat.
and Scotty did change up the menu a little bit this year. He has back in December he injured his hand, required surgery. He missed quite a bit of time to start the season, which may be why he has not won a tournament yet. But he has a little ode to the injury and also his father on the menu. He's got his dad's ravioli bites.
I think we need to figure out how to get this recipe for these
Yes.
ravioli meatball bites. I feel like this is, I mean, that's, we should pay homage to his father,
Yes.
obviously. And I
Obviously.
think it's called like Papa Chef's, I can't remember, like Papa Chef's ravioli and meatball bites or something. But yeah,
Yes.
you said so he hurt himself in the off season, required
On
surgery.
Christmas, he was trying to
That's
make
right.
these. Yes.
And because Scottie Scheffler just really has this clean, sort of down home image. If you watch, why am I blanking on the Netflix thing? The Full Swing,
Full swing.
the
Yes.
first series of whole Full Swing, it was like him and his wife live in an apartment in downtown Dallas. Like there
Hmm.
was nothing pretentious about them. So knowing that he has that sort of reputation, it was like, oh, okay, he didn't really like punch a glass wall or something like
Hmm.
that, like you might assume with some other athletes. And so do you remember you have a cooking injury that when I read the story, it made me think of you. Do you remember when you were trying to cut apart frozen chicken and you stabbed yourself in the hand?
You said you had a surprise for me. This was it.
Yes. Do you remember that?
I did. I wasn't smart in college. I tried to separate chicken with a knife and put the knife through my hand. So
Yep.
when it in there and out here
Yeah, I
through
do
like
remember
the
that.
fatty part. Thankfully, I
Yep.
didn't hit any bones.
Yep.
But that was a learning experience. A lot of blood came out. I had to drive myself to the emergency room and get stitches.
Which, I was talking to a random friend, a doctor friend, not long after that happened. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's super common. We actually call it avocado hand because a lot of people take the knife and try to smack the
Mhm.
pit. And obviously, then it goes into their hand.
Yeah.
And so, note to self, I've seen some TikTok videos about just popping the avocado pit out the other side. But also don't stab yourself with a knife while
Yeah.
separating frozen
Don't
chicken.
do that. And especially if you're about to play in the Masters. Don't do that.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got food. We've got
Yes.
that covered. One of the people who will maybe be at the dinner, but not be golfing, the legend is Tiger Woods. So he's been in the news a lot lately for him dating Vanessa Trump, who is Donald Trump Jr.'s ex-wife.
Mhm.
But he posted a post on April Fool's Day that was like, "I'm so excited after all the time in the hyperbaric chamber and my training, this and that. I'm so excited to be playing in the Masters." And it was like this big post, and on the bottom it said, "P.S. My Achilles is still shot," or a hot mess or something like that. So he won't be playing, but
Yeah.
possibly we'll see him at the dinner.
He will be at the dinner. Absolutely, I assume. And there was about what the 10 seconds it took to read his tweet that where people thought magically he had healed his Achilles that he ruptured and had need to have surgery. So people thought he was going to be there for about 3 sentences worth, and then obviously April Fools took over. It's kind of disappointing. I don't know that we'll ever see him back to play ever again, unfortunately. Injuries and car accidents and other things that he's done have really
He's had a road.
physically taken a toll on him. So I don't think we'll ever see him play again, sadly, but he can go to the dinners and he can hang out.
He's still a legend, right? I
He's,
mean, here he is going to be caddying for his son maybe one day, who's a pretty good golfer as well.
yeah. Charlie's not too far off from probably being on at least some kind of event that he could possibly get to the Masters.
That's cool. I mean, it's cool to see, and I can't even imagine the pressure of being in the same sport
Mhm.
as your dad. I mean, we talked about Eli Manning earlier, but like as your brother and your dad, and
Yeah.
like the pressure that comes with being to that level. And if your dad was Tiger Woods, it's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, my dad was Michael Jordan or Wayne Gretzky. I'm just trying to make it
I mean, it seems like maybe it's the exact opposite for Charlie. He's been around it so long that I don't think
natural.
that doesn't seem to bother him at all. And I mean, really, all he's had to do is play golf his entire life. He didn't face the struggles that Tiger did coming up,
That's true.
So
That's
he's
true.
had a good path, and it seems like it doesn't bother him too much. And can you pass your lifetime exemption to your family member to play? Do you know?
If anyone can do it, it's Tiger.
Yeah. So if you win the Masters, you get a lifetime exemption. Can you put Charlie's name on it?
Let's work on that,
Okay.
guys. Let's start a petition.
Start the petition.
I'm sure the Masters will probably be listening to us,
Most likely,
so
yes.
for sure. Now, obviously, the course is known for its secret bathrooms, its beautiful azaleas, all
Mhm.
these things. It was hit with a hurricane, and so it's maybe there's some parts of it that aren't in as good of shape as they were before. There might be some trees missing that the most attuned golfer might notice are missing. What do we have to expect on that?
Yes. If you remember that Hurricane Helene devastated a lot of the South and hit Augusta National extremely hard, destroyed a lot of the course. There's been a lot of talk of will they acknowledge it, will they show it? Augusta has opted to tell CBS to not acknowledge it, to not show it. so they're not going to be discussing much of the hurricane nor showing you damage. Although there was a lot of trees that were lost, and the world famous grounds crew at Augusta has got this course ready to play somehow because it was devastated. There's rumored to be trees missing on the 15th green, the 11th green, and the right side of the 9th hole. So we won't see these on TV, but there is trees missing.
I feel like this is like the Instagram version of golf, right? Like
Yes.
this isn't the real life version. This is like the Instagram version. Like my kids really always look this clean and dress this nice. And you're like, fast forward 30 seconds and
Yes.
they're covered in mud with clothes over their head and tearing and all the things on it. Like it's kind of funny to me. Like we have this facade that it's almost like meeting your, do you think it's like meeting your heroes when you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I got here, and like, don't get me wrong, I've been to golf courses around Augusta and they're amazing. It's beautiful, but like, do you get there and you're like, oh, there's trees missing?
Yeah, I mean, 90% of the people won't even notice, even if they did show
Of
it.
course
So
not.
don't expect a lot of hurricane talk. No weathermen, just golf talk.
Speaking of golf talk, the one thing I love about this is like my favorite fact about the Masters, and you know this, so we're going to talk about it again. If you've heard it, if you listen to this podcast for the 6 years we've had it, you will have heard this again. But I love the fact that CBS they pipe in essentially like birds tweeting into the broadcast. So if you're at the tournament and you're at Augusta, you're going to be disappointed because you're probably not going to see any birds. Because I'm pretty sure if we're worried about not talking about hurricanes and no cell phones, there's probably no birds because we don't want Tiger Woods to get pooped on.
Exactly, or a bird to steal a ball. So I know that's one of your favorite facts, the piped in bird sounds on the broadcast, but it makes it very tranquil, easy to take a nap. So I mean, I'm not really going to complain about it.
But like who thought about that, right? Like who was like, you know what? And if you know who that is, I want to know. Who was like, you know what? This is my third glass of wine. I've got a really good idea for you guys. I think we should put bird sounds into the broadcast. It needs to feel more peaceful.
Yes. And for those who don't like birds, maybe it's not a good thing. Like,
that's true.
I know you yourself do not like birds, but if you went to Augusta, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
See, now I'd be better off than going to Augusta than listening to the broadcast. Is what you're
absolutely. So you might be having bird nightmares while napping to golf.
This is true. This is true. Did I see, speaking of nightmares, random bathrooms in the woods, did I see that there's a secret bathroom on the course in our notes?
For the players, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And no one's ever talked about it before. Last year, Keegan Bradley, who's the captain of the Ryder Cup team for the USA upcoming in September, revealed that I think there's secret bathrooms for the players on the 11th and 13th hole.
Keegan, you put out a secret.
I'm surprised he's not blackballed and allowed to ever play golf again. But
and they let you lead the Ryder Cup team. Do you know? Have you seen this? They cut people for that.
Yeah, they do. Well, he's the boss now, so he's not going to cut himself.
Okay, that's true.
Unlike last time's Ryder Cup, if you watch Full Swing, there was a lot of drama with him not making the team, and the team got destroyed by Europe. So that's neither here nor there. But if you're wondering how these golfers go all day and don't use the restroom, that's how they do it.
Got it.
11th
and 13th.
Yes.
Now, I should have mentioned this in the broadcast, but it just came out that Jim Nantz, who's the voice of, he's done college basketball for a long time. He retired from that, but he has stuck with the Masters. His voice is melodic. He actually has a wine called The Calling, which is actually quite good.
You've tried it?
What's that? Yeah, we used to be in the wine club, but I didn't realize it was his. But anyways, he has announced that he's retiring in like 2040 or 2036 or something.
Yes, and I was watching an interview with him on Dan Patrick the other day, and he clarified that he didn't want that to be the top story. It was just part of a conversation. I think that's what would be the 100th Masters then, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But he said he wanted to go until at least then. So it's not like he said announcing an 11-year retirement tour, which would be pretty wild to do, because he's on his 40th Masters, which ties Vern Lundquist, who just retired. It'll be his 51st Masters then, if I'm good at math.
That sounds about right.
Also sounds crazy. Like a good time to retire. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that he said that he's doing it. He said he wanted to make it until then.
Okay, that makes sense.
And no one's kicking him out unless he leaves.
Yeah, no, I'm sure not, right? His voice is so iconic.
Yes.
Now, as we go to wrap this up, I know there are definitely some names we need to watch. We already talked about Scottie Scheffler.
Mhm.
Who else do we need to keep an eye on?
Let's see. Well, obviously Scotty, he won 2022, 2024. He has not won yet this year, like we spoke about. He's number one in the odds. Weirdly, Rory McIlroy is number two. He's always number two in the odds. Shout out to you. Um, but it's weird. I don't understand it. He's a big name, but he has not won a major since 2014. And Augusta is his worst course. Like, no matter how many times he plays it, he does not play
His
it well.
nemesis.
So people betting on him, I'm very confused why you would, but he's number two. Colin Morikawa, John Rahm, who won in 2023. Remember, you saw his newborn child
Yep.
thrust into his arms. Ludwig Oberg, he's at five. He's a young international player, and we should say that Americans been dominating recently. They've won the last 7 majors. So to think that someone outside of Americans going to win is maybe a stretch.
If you are watching it and you see his name, it's not the letter O,
Mhm.
it's actually an A. Just so you know,
Yes.
if you're watching it and you're like, "Oh, who is that guy?" That's who that is.
Yes. So he is foreign. So picking him may be a stretch. Also, Rory's a stretch. But those are like your top 5.
And what we have, there's no LIV golfers specifically. They don't specifically get a chance to participate, but if they get a special invitation or they've won previously, they are invited back to participate, right?
Yes. So if you win, you've got a lifetime exemption. So any LIV player who's won before can play, obviously. And then there's like the other majors, they make you qualify with world rankings. The Masters kind of just picks whoever they want.
Of
So
course they do.
they can LIV players can play. There are quite a few in the fields. There's quite a few champions in there, so they will be there playing. Although a lot of talk about LIV's ratings, and so you probably haven't seen a lot of these guys golf since last year.
Yeah, so really quickly, I know we're a little bit over our normal time, but is LIV and PGA were supposed to merge by the end of the year last year. Clearly that didn't happen. Is that a thing still?
No, I think they announced in summer of 2023 that they shocked the world that they were merging, and we still have no update, and we're no closer in 2025. So don't hold your breath for anything anytime soon.
Okay, so maybe don't place a bet on Rory to win, nor Ludwig,
No offense to Rory.
or no offense, Rory. This is your kryptonite. Or for an LIV merger. Okay, got it.
Correct.
Check.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing the insights into the what feels like the world's most pretentious golf tournament. A little, like I said, a little Truman Show, a little bit of everything. So, I love that this is such a fun way to talk about the world of golf in such a way that this is their Super Bowl, and so it's
Yes.
really fun for that. So, tune in all week and over the weekend for the Masters Golf Tournament. Listen to the bird noises, take a little nap, enjoy a pimento and cheese sandwich, and let's see if we can somehow track down Scottie Scheffler's dad's recipe.
Deal.
Someone had it somewhere.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Scott. I appreciate you.
Thank you.